Hello creeps! Andy here, and today I have got another book haul for you and a lot of packages. I went to my P.O. box today. Let me just show you real quick what I'm working with here. I got some of these. I also got some of this. I also got one of these. So we got a lot going on. So let's just begin. I'll show you the books that I got. I honestly don't even understand how I purchased this many books. I honestly thought I just grabbed a few, but here we are. That's no different than any other month though, because I have no self-control. So let me just start, I guess kind of like in the order of which I purchased them. Give me 1 second. I got some good stuff, guys. The first one I'm so excited about. This, I saw that it just recently came out. It's called The Eyes Are the Best Part. Look at this cover. I don't know if you know this about me, but if your book or any book has an eyeball on it, I'm gonna read it. I don't know what it is. I've got an eyeball obsession recently. I just am really fond of eyeballs. I like eyeballs in movies. I like eyeballs on my books. I like eyeballs everywhere. So I saw this and I'm like, okay, I have to read it. This is by Monica Kim. And I'm not sure if this is her first book or just the first book that I have from her, but let's read what it's about because I didn't even read it. I didn't even care. I said, it's got an eyeball, I'm buying that. Excuse me if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, but Ji-won's life tumbles into disarray in the wake of her appa's extramarital affair and subsequent departure. Her mother distraught, her younger sister hurt and confused, her college freshman grades failing, her dreams horrifying yet enticing. In them, she walks through bloody rooms full of eyes, succulent blue eyes, salivatingly blue eyes, eyes the same shape and shade as George's, who is Uma's obnoxious new boyfriend. He brags about his puffed up consulting job, oogles Asian waitresses while dining out, and acts condescendingly towards Ji-won and her sister as if he deserves all of Uma's fawning adoration. George doesn't deserve anything from her family. Ji-won makes sure of that, for no matter how many victims accumulate around her campus or how many people she must deceive and manipulate, Ji-won's hunger and her rage deserve to be sated. A brilliantly inventive, submersive novel about a young woman unraveling. Monica Kim's The Eyes Are the Best Part marks a bold new voice in horror. Okay, so yeah, I think this is her new book that will leave readers mesmerized and craving more. I need to read this immediately. I picked this one for mine and my friend's book club next month, so if you guys want to read along with us for that one, I would love to make a book club online, and I've been trying to figure out how to do it. And I know there's Patreon and stuff, but like, I'm not gonna make you pay for Patreon and then have to purchase the book for the month. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how else I would get that done, but I think it would be fun to have a book club. So anyways, if you guys want to read this along with me, I don't know how we'll have a book club about it. Maybe just in the comments of my end of the month wrap-up video that we have a whole month to read it. I don't know. Let me know what you think. The next one I purchased is Everyone Is Watching. This is by Heather Gudenkoff, and I didn't finish this already. No, of course not. Why would I do that? Let me just read you the back then. The best friend, the confidant, the senator, the boyfriend, the executive, 5 consultants have been chosen to compete for $10 million on the game show One Lucky Winner. The catch: none of them knows what or who to expect, and it will be live streamed all over the world, completely secluded in a state in Northern California, with strict instructions not to leave the property and 0 contact with the outside world. The competitors start to feel a little too isolated. When long-kept secrets begin to rise to the surface, the contestants realize that this is no longer just a reality show. Someone is out for blood, and the game can't end until the world knows who the contestants really are. I guess I'll talk about this in my wrap-up, but I did finish this one this week. The reason I purchased it is because this quote down here says, "Big Brother meets Clue," and I thought, that sounds interesting. So yeah, picked that one up, read that one. The next one I have is Invitation to a Beheading. This is by Vladimir Nabokov. You guys will correct my pronunciation. This one says, like Kafka's The Castle, Invitation to a Beheading embodies a vision of a bizarre and irrational world. In an unnamed dream country, the young man is condemned to death by a beheading for an imaginary crime that defies definition. He spends his last days in an absurd jail where he is visited by jailers, and the executioner who masquerades as a fellow prisoner, and by his in-laws who lug their furniture with them into the cell. And he's led out to execution. He simply wills his executioners out of existence. They disappear along with the whole world they inhabit. This sounds right up my alley. So the reason I have this one is because I really wanted this book. Yes, that is a gum rubber as my bookmark. And I asked my husband, because I wasn't feeling well, so I was like, could you just stop at the used bookstore on your way home and grab this one? And he's like, yeah, sure. And it was in the classic section. So I was like, actually, can you try to find this? Can you try to find that? Can you try to find this? So there were a few others that he picked up, and this was one of them that I wanted to read. I think that one's been on my to-read list for a while on Goodreads, so glad I purchased it. Next I have, I'm probably gonna pronounce this incorrectly, but this is The Death of Ivan Ilyich. Ilych. Like I said, you guys always correct my pronunciation. This is by Lev Tolstoy. I just feel like I pronounce everything incorrectly.
Lev Nikolaevich Tolstoy.
Okay, so judging by this, they pronounce his name Liv Tolstoy. So if it's incorrect, blame that dude. But otherwise, this one does not have any information. Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. So I don't really know what this is about. I guess we'll look it up on Goodreads. I mean, I know what it's about because I've read it, but I don't know what the synopsis is. It just says, hailed as one of the world's supreme masterpieces on the subject of death and dying. It's a story of a worldly careerist, a high court judge who has never given the inevitability of his death so much as a passing thought, but one day death announces itself to him, and to his shocking surprise he is brought face to face with his own mortality. Okay, thoroughly absorbing and at times terrifying glimpse into the abyss of death. It is also a strong testament to the possibility of finding spiritual salvation. I am enjoying this one so far, but I've got a few pages left of that. So this one I've wanted to read for a while, but I know that this is like gonna be a tough read. But this was Johnny Got His Gun, and this is by Dalton Trumbo. This one I've been wanting to read for a long time, but I just know that it's gonna be rough, but I'm gonna do it. Anyways, it says, it was the war to end all wars, the global struggle that would finally make the world safe for democracy at any cost. But one American soldier has paid a price beyond measure. And within the disfigured flesh that was once a vision of youth lives a spirit that cannot accept what the world has become. An immediate bestseller upon its original publication in 1939, Dalton Trumbo's stark, profoundly troubling masterpiece about the horrors of World War I brilliantly crystallized the uncompromising brutality of the war and became the most influential protest novel of the Vietnam era. Oh, this is going to be tough to read. I already know it. Okay, next up, I got the next on my cozy mystery. Talk about a drastic change. This is Donut Disaster. I believe this is number 12 in the Murder in the Mix series. I'm not going to read the back because I don't want to know who gets murdered in this book, but somebody will inevitably get murdered. The last one had a little bit of a little bit more intricate of a plot, more than just one thing happened. So yeah, I'm just excited to read what happens in this one. I love how they're for each month. This one feels thicker too. I think they keep getting, oh, 260. I think they keep getting a little bit longer, which I enjoy. I love reading them per each month, you know. So July is there was a 4th of July celebration, and it talked about how boiling hot it was outside. I don't know, it's just fun. I also bought, I know you guys, I have read your comments about reading Blood Meridian. I promise I will read it soon, okay? But I did pick up No Country for Old Men by Cormac McCarthy too, because I just read, I mean, this has nothing to do with that, but I just read Jurassic Park, and I really want to do a movie verse book. I'm also learning a new editing software. So I'm trying to make my videos better, more entertaining. I know this one is going to be with the old editing software, so lower your expectations for a little bit, but I really want to have more like intricate, in-depth videos, especially analyzing movies versus books. So I thought that this would be a cool one to do. So yeah, I got this one, probably, well, I don't know if everyone knows the story, but it says the setting is the Texas-Mexico border. The time is hey, we're all up. No. Oh my gosh. My cat's obsession with trying to eat paper towels is just, it's insane. Sorry, she just grabbed a paper towel and ran. Okay, the time is our own. Sorry, the back's kind of hard to read. When rustlers have given way to drug runners and small towns have become free fire zones, a good boy named Llewellyn Moss finds, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time reading this text, finds a pickup truck surrounded by dead men. A load of heroin and $2 million in cash are still in the back. When Moss takes the money, he sets off a chain reaction that not even the law can contain, encompassing themes as ancient as the Bible and as bloodily contemporary as the morning's headlines. No Country for Old Men is a triumph. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this. Why is this page bent? Anyways, I also got another disturbing book. I got a lot of weird, kind of disturbing stuff. But this one is We Need to Talk About Kevin. This is by Lionel Shriver. And I've actually seen this movie before. And it's a messed up movie. If you guys want to watch something that's like pretty messed up. I'll read the back here though. And then eventually maybe I'll do a movie versus book on this one. I don't know. This says Eva never really wanted to be a mother, and certainly not the mother of an unlovable boy who murdered 7 of his fellow high school students, a cafeteria worker, and a much adored teacher who tried to befriend him, all 2 days before his 16th birthday. Now, 2 years later, it is time for her to come to terms with marriage, career, family, parenthood, and Kevin's horrific rampage in a series of startling, discreet correspondence with her estranged husband, Franklin. I can already tell this is going to be different from the movie. Uneasy with the sacrifices and social demotion of motherhood from the start, Eva fears that her alarming dislike for her own son may be responsible for driving him to nihilistically off the rails. So nihilistically off the rails. Interesting. Can you be good? No, you're not bad. You're just evil. You can't help it. Huh. You're just possessed by little demons. Anyways, the next one I got was by Anais Nin. And this is Delta of Venus, Erotica. It said that online that this is one of her... Cat hair. Did you see that? She was trying to kill me. Okay, this said it's one of her most popular novels. So it says, in Delta of Venus, Anais Nin's penned a lush, magical world where the characters of her imagination possess the most universal of desires and exceptional of talents. Among these provocative stories, a Hungarian adventurer seduces wealthy women, then vanishes with their money. A veiled woman selects strangers from a chic restaurant for private trysts. And a Parisian hat maker named Mathilde leaves her husband for the opium dens of Peru. This is an extraordinarily rich and erotic collection from the master of erotic writing. I don't know, I'm not really a fan of erotic literature if I'm honest, but I have been reading quite a lot of it, and I've really enjoyed her last work that I've read, so I was like, I'll pick it up. Plus, look at the cover. I don't know, something about this. I also got Psychic Teenage Bloodbath by Carl John Lee. I don't think I've ever read anything from Carl John Lee before, but look at this cover. I had to buy it, right? This one is another one that I've seen around that I've been intrigued by for a while. But it says Susan Ward is in a coma. She's been there for a year ever since the accident. She can't speak, she can't move, she can't even close her eyes. Unable to sleep, Susan has gone quite mad. But deep within the recesses of her mind, she discovers a new and frightening set of skills. And now 1 year later, Susan will use these skills for one single-minded, blood-soaked purpose: revenge. From the sadistic mind of Carl John Lee, author of Horror House of Perversion, comes a nightmarish tale of vengeance and brutal, stomach-churning violence. Don't let her inside your mind. Yeah, this sounds so fun. So, excited to read that. Always down for some good old-fashioned revenge and violence. I also got this one. This is The Cipher by Kathy Koja. And this one was on my list for Goodreads too, but then one of you recommended it to me on Goodreads. Now, I don't know how you did that. I'm, if you can't tell, not really great with technology. So a few of you have actually recommended me books on Goodreads before. I don't know how you're doing it, but someone sent me this one and I'm like, you know what? It was always on my list, but I know I've never had anybody talk to me about this book. But since somebody recommended it to me, I thought, okay, well then it's gotta be interesting since you liked it. So This is winner of a Bram Stoker Award. Black, pure black, and the sense of pulsation, especially when you look at it too closely. The sense of something not living but alive. When a strange hole materializes in a storage room, would-be poet Nicholas and his feral lover Nakoda allow their curiosity to lead them into the depths of terror. Wouldn't it be wild to go down there, says Nakoda. Nicholas says we're not. But no one is in control, and their experiments lead to obsession violence, and a very final formation for everyone who gets too close to the fun hole. Like, what? Get in my mind right now. I must read you. It sounds freaking cool. I'm really excited for that one. And then the last one that I got was Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. And I do know that we've discussed Virginia Woolf, not me and you, but in college, but I really can't remember reading any of her novels. So I certainly haven't read this one, but it sounded interesting. And I really can't remember reading much of her work at all. So I was like, you know what? It's time for some Virginia Woolf in my life. Ginny Wolfies. Ginny Wolfersons. It says, this brilliant novel explores the hidden springs of thought and action in one day of a woman's life. Direct and vivid in her account of the details of Clarissa Dalloway's preparation for a party she is to have that evening. Virginia Woolf ultimately manages to reveal much more, for it is the feelings behind these daily events, the social alliances, the shoekeeper's exchange, the fact of death, that give Mrs. Dalloway its texture and richness and make it so memorable. In her foreword, okay, it doesn't matter. So yeah, I don't know. This sounded interesting, and so I decided to pick that bad boy up. This was another used book, so that was the third one that my husband got for me when I asked him to get me that first guy. So that's what I got. Let me know about what you think about these guys, and let me know what you have purchased recently. But let's get to the P.O. box stuff, because I got a lot of stuff. I don't know what's going on. As always, I super appreciate anybody who sends me anything. Thank you very much, regardless of whether it's your book or someone else's book or what have you, you know? It's like Christmas. Wow, it says I have enjoyed 240 plus of your videos. Do I have that many videos up? That's crazy. This is so nice. They said they wanted to give something back after watching my videos. That's like obviously not necessary, but this is so cool. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly. I know that I will. Junji Ito meets Mary Shelley. The master of horror manga bends all his skills into bringing the anguished and solitary monster and the fouler beast who created him to life with a brilliantly detailed, I don't know that word for which it's known. Chiaroscuro? Chiaroscuro. Distribution of light and shade in a picture. Chiaroscuro, okay. For which he is known. Also included are 6 tales of Oshikiri, a high school student who lives in a decaying mansion connected to the haunted parallel world. Uncanny doppelgangers and unfortunately murdered friends. And a whole lot more are in store for him. Bonus, the Ito family dog. Thrilled to the adventures of Non Ito, an adorable Maltese. Well, you guys know I love my doggies. Okay, this is really cool. A lot of you guys have asked me to review mangas that I've read and stuff, and really the only ones that I've read were in high school. Did you guys have reading time? Like there was like 20 minutes after lunch where we would have to read, and the girl sitting in front of me always had these manga type books. They weren't horror, but I don't even know what they were. And so anyways, I would read those. So those were the only ones that I've read. But this is so cool and so nice. Look at how beautiful this is. So I'm really, really excited to read this because I've never read a horror manga before. So that's how you pronounce it, right? Manga? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this looks really neat. And I am so thankful. This is so nice. Thank you so, so much. That's really cool. That's really cool. Okay. Let's see what's in this bad boy. Ah, my finger. Ow, ow, ow. And apparently I'm a child. And I shouldn't be allowed to have scissors. You will never guess it. Another book. This is Down Into the Sea. Dan Franklin. Oh, wait, this cover's so creepy. I hope you could see how creepy that little bitch is on the cover. Ew. Her little teeth, or his, I don't know, but her little teeth. That is not a kid I want to be around. down into the sea. Okay, so already intrigued. You guys know I love anything that takes place underwater. Just automatically, it says horror, it says underwater, and I'm like, I'm in. This says 14-year-old Erica Ross is struggling. Eric Ross, sorry. His father is in prison for murder. His brother has slipped into addiction. Even if he can survive the bullying and the sudden run of disappearances, he has little hope for the future outside of the sleepy Massachusetts fishing town he calls home. But there's something far more important on his mind. He found her down beneath a local entertainment pier, and she seems just about perfect, except for her teeth. Yeah, no joke. But she doesn't want to simply be part of his world. She wants more. Oh, I got goosebumps. This is creepy. From the author of These Things Linger and The Eater of Gods, Down in the Sea is a vicious twist on the coming-of-age horror, on the unyielding transformative power of desire and the dangers of standing in its path. Okay, thank you so much. I must read that immediately. That's so fun. Okay, this is from Fraser Lee, and it's Damnation, the Gothic game. Again, the cover looks really cool. And it says, an impassable storm forces a group of travelers to disembark from their steam train and take shelter in a remote castle for the night. Already sounds fun, come on. Their enigmatic host invites them to take part in some after-dinner entertainment, but as they each explore the castle's rooms and passageways, they discover they have become part of a deadly game. Only one guest may leave in the morning, and it is up to each of them to use their wits and weapons to survive the night. That sounds, yeah, I mean, come on, that sounds so fun too. So thank you so much, whoever sent me this. This one is Leo X Robertson's Hateful Pitches. Why are all these covers so intriguing to me? This says it's Ben's 24th birthday and his estranged dad, the great but egotistical film talent advisor, Oliver Baring, has invited him to celebrate the Moth and Flame, a fancy restaurant south of London's Hyde Park. Ben, having once thought himself too practical and modest for a career in arts, wrote a script for his dad to read, more for attention than for aspiration. But thanks to the latest rumors about Oliver Baring, whether Ben can get dad to read it soon, is the least of his problems. In a world where everyone's got a story idea in them and no one can keep it there, Ben wonders if words can be enough or whether he'll resort to violence to make his mark on the world. Interesting. I'm just so thankful for anybody who sends me books. It's just really cool to be able to see either things that you enjoy or things that you have written. So this is called, oh, I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, Teen Dice on Desecrated Faith and Newfound Religion. Please let me know if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. This is by Stephen Mark Main. And this says William Absalom Teendith IV wanted nothing more than to follow his father's footsteps, and he would have done so quite easily had the deacons minded their own business. But Absalom really should thank them. If they hadn't forced him to go to seminary, he would never have been forced to come to terms with how shallow his beliefs truly were. He never would have met his James, and he would have never known his father and uncle so deeply as he had come to know them. He would never have met God. Not that one, the other one. Praise be the putrid cloud. Interesting. So I've never needed to buy books again, really. We've got just a few more here. Since 1996, Vault of Midnight. Okay, a couple 1990s literary curiosities for you. Lots and lots of losers and lunatics. You'll feel right at home. Diary of a Fat Slob. Pathetic Life. Morella. And then this one says it's issue number 10, the J-Man Times, Miss America. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research into these because there's a lot of stuff to read in here, you know? But thank you for whoever sent this. And then the last one here, this one says, love your YouTube channel. Thank you very much. This one is Broken Crown by Henry L. I just give up trying to pronounce people's names. I'm just so bad. Racketcott? I don't know. But it just says, a novel, Broken Crown, completes the work he began with the short story collections Holy Days, In the Sun and the Unbearable Ugliness of Being. In In these lived-in pages, human experience is distilled by a narrator retired from the conventions of everyday life. So I don't know if it's a short story collection or if it's a novel from that collection. I don't know. I'm interested, but thank you very much for sending me this guy. Those are the books. Woo! Let me know what you're currently reading, and I will see you very soon with my wrap up for this month. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon with another horror video. Bye.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.